In the early 1900s, football was already the most popular sport on the planet, but there was no single tournament to crown a true world champion. A French football official believed the world needed one true competition, where nations could battle for the ultimate prize. In 1930, his idea became reality, and 13 national teams sailed across oceans to a small country in South America to compete for the very first title. The host nation built a brand new stadium just for the occasion, and thousands of fans packed the stands to witness history. The host team won that very first tournament, and a simple gold trophy was handed to a captain in front of a roaring crowd. Just as the tournament was growing into a global event, the world was pulled into war, and football had to wait. For 12 long years, there was no tournament at all, and an entire generation of players never got their chance on the world stage. When the tournament finally returned in 1950, it was bigger and more emotional than ever, a symbol that the world was healing. A shocking upset stunned the football world as a team of amateurs and part-time workers defeated one of the biggest football powers on the planet. Through the 1950s and 60s, the tournament produced its first true global superstars, players whose names became known on every continent. In 1958, a 17-year-old boy from South America announced himself to the world, scoring in the final and crying tears of joy on the pitch. That same player would go on to win the tournament 3 separate times, a record that still stands as one of football's greatest achievements. By 1970, television brought the tournament into homes across the world for the first time in color, and football truly became a global language. Not every story was about glory. The tournament also delivered heartbreak, with penalty shootouts deciding championships in the cruelest way possible. In 1986, one moment of controversy became one of the most debated plays in the history of the sport, still argued about decades later. Minutes later, that very same player scored a goal so brilliant, dribbling past nearly the entire opposing team, that it is still called the greatest goal ever scored. Some finals came down to a single kick, a single decision, a single moment that would define a player's entire career. As decades passed, the tournament grew from a small gathering of 13 teams into a massive event featuring more than 30 nations. Nations that had never before reached the world stage began to shock the football world, proving that greatness could come from anywhere. Billions of people now tune in every 4 years, making the final match one of the most watched events in all of human history. For one single month, every 4 years, the entire planet pauses to watch the same ball, on the same kind of pitch, chasing the same dream. From 13 teams on a boat in 1930 to a truly global celebration watched by billions. This is the story of how the World Cup became the biggest stage on Earth. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Onside. Because every 4 years, the world stops for the same reason it always has: the beautiful game.